Welcome to Dr. Eitner's Super Reads. One book, 2 minutes, and 3 takeaways that you can apply to your classroom, school, or district. Let's get right to it. Here's Superintendent Eitner.
Welcome back to Super Reads. It's Jay. As always, thank you for listening and thank you for your support. Thank you for your feedback and thank you for tolerating my voice once again. We love passing out viruses in the house right now. So these are the gifts that keep on giving, and you're all lucky enough to have either experienced or, well, you could hear this guy with them. The book today talks about learning spaces and how they're much more than, stuff you throw up on a bulletin board or, the latest and greatest thing you bought from Teachers Pay Teachers. Or for us cool teachers out there, we had the mailbox. Does anybody remember the mailbox? The mailbox was awesome. Anyway, talking about learning spaces, and there's, believe it or not, a lot to talk about and write about, apparently, because the book was published. So let's jump into it. The Space for Educators, published in 2016, and it was written by Rebecca Hare and Robert Dillon. Now, save your jokes. He's heard every one of them before. Every Bob Dylan joke known to man, ergo going by Dr. Robert Dillon. The book has the objective to share how students are learning in their environments today. It begins with the statement that this is a human-centered book for human-centered problems, with the reminder that students are indeed humans. This is not a book about how to decorate your classroom. This is a book designed to amplify learning by adjusting various components in the classroom. Providing solutions by making intentional choices will allow you to ensure that your learning space will serve your students. And with that open mind to a design with students, not for students. And I think that's a really awesome point. Having student ownership in the designing space will have them more invested, hence allowing your students to have more buy-in and learn more in the room. This may seem a bit silly, but think about it as if you were living at your home. You've designed, hopefully, the living room and the dining room and the kitchen, maybe your bedroom, the way it's set up. You picked out the furniture. Sure, I don't think every classroom's going to have students picking out their own furniture, but hear me out real quick. You definitely decorated your room growing up, right? And then you get to college and you decorate your dorm, and then you get on your own in your own apartment and you decorate that too. I mean, you make it yours. And when you make it yours, you have that buy-in. And that's what the authors are really stressing about this. I mean, they went so far as there was a room that had a section dedicated for student feedback, where students would have the opportunity to talk about their learning space. That's awesome. The book stresses that the classroom design theory of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So you're thinking about the whole space in general, not just one corner of the room. For all the activities in the classroom, the book has pages speaking to the needs for even quiet spaces in the room as well. Again, the concept is laid out and it's followed by examples of how you can replicate or customize the classroom or school experience. The book encourages you to explore, be agile, and remind yourself that you're in the profession for the future occupants of our society. Yeah, I'm still thinking you're probably stuck on the fact that the book was written by Bob Dylan. I can't tell you how long I've actually thought about it and snickered, because I feel like I'm internally 14, laughing that I know and tweet Bob Dylan. He's awesome, though. Read the whole book. I mean, just the concept. We think about these things and we're like, whatever, I'm just going to, throw some pictures up. Me, social studies teacher, guilty as charged. Every time. Anytime I had to set up a room, I had scads of pictures and, your typical social studies go-to stuff. But I got a little funky here and there. I like to, I put up all my student, these thank you cards that they used to write. I got a lot of buy-in that way from kids. One of the other things I did too is I had a podium in the front of my room, and at every last day of school, I'd let the kids come up and actually sign the podium. And it got to a point where kids who actually graduated from high school and college were coming back and being like, yo, that's my signature. And I'm like, yeah, see, you remember that. So, that whole design space really is clutch. And here are my 3 takeaways from the book. Takeaway 1, examples, examples, examples. The book has tons of examples in both print and in photos. Reading examples is one thing, but seeing them completely laid out, awesome. Takeaway 2. The authors have years of hands-on experiences and can legitimately speak to the process from the positives to the potential pitfalls. Everything isn't perfection, and that's okay. The gentle reminder that these are educators and are like you and have changed things on the fly make the read much more realistic and being vested in itself. Because let's face it, whether you're a teacher all the way up to a superintendent, I mean, you go on the fly sometimes and you got to switch gears when, things aren't being understood. So the authors acknowledge that, and I think that's really cool, and that's what really had my buy-in for the book. And number 3, the book is it's based upon pedagogy and design as the pedagogy. This isn't an HGTV redo or like a Lowe's redesign handbook. It's giving you the ideas of what learning spaces could be like, and then following up with the why and the how as to go about it. And I find that is much more worthwhile than any illustrative book. So go get it. It's really good. That wraps it up for this episode. You could check more about the book on Amazon because everything's on Amazon. But you could definitely hook up with the authors on Twitter. Bob Dylan / Dr. Robert Dylan can be followed at IdeaGuy42. He's awesome. He's very approachable, very realistic, and will delve into any topic about learning spaces with you because, he's good at what he does. So check it out. That being said, I'll catch you all next week.